Welcome to another great start. Welcome to another Living Freestyle live stream. We're doing a game dev Q&A AMA. Basically the way this works, twice a week, Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings. We hang out, we work this like office hours, come and go as you choose. If you have questions about game dev, especially around Unreal, Maya, all those kind of integrations, I don't know everything, but maybe we can stumble through a bunch of stuff together. And in the absence of any questions, generally speaking, I'm just working on my game live. And why are we doing this? I'm fortunate enough to work in games professionally every day. A lot of cool stuff, but there's a lot of cool stuff I don't get to do. And so this is a chance for me to kind of stumble through that and learn a whole bunch of cool stuff. Right now, it does not appear as though we have any questions. And I didn't see any questions in any of the previous chats and stuff. So with that, we're gonna hop right back into our game where we're kind of working. We're in the middle of trying to take over the Lyra project, turn that into our own project, and specifically we're working on enemy health bars right now. So let's hop into that real quick and make sure we actually stream our screen this time. I say that out loud when nobody's here because it helps me remember. All right, so as a quick recap, what we were working on was we were working on getting health bars on enemies. And right now, what I've done since the last time we were hanging out is I went ahead and created a new health bar for enemies. And you'll be able to see it here above their heads as soon as the game loads. All right, so you'll notice all I did was duplicate the health bar that we had fixed in the last time, and I removed the numbers and called it the enemy health bar. Reason being is I'm not so worried about the numbers. Two things that we're gonna fix tonight. When we shoot this character, first off, we don't need 0 damage to show up, right? We can see the shield going down accurately. That's what we want. But then when we get to health, you'll notice that the health doesn't start to go down until we get to 100. So let's see if we can fix both these things. So to do that, let's take a look at the health bar and take a look at the graph. And what we're looking at here is, oh, we're still doing this print string. I don't think we need this anymore. We can clean this up. Okay, so we're getting the old and the new health value. We're getting the health old value dividing by 100. Interesting. I thought we changed the way this worked. And we're getting the new value divided by 100. We take the health new value and let's see here, the health number, set the scalar damage healing, plane forward animation, set the current value to the health old value. Health new value. Yeah, so the problem is this progress bar uses a normalized value. So we kind of need, rather than divide by 100, I feel like we need to divide by our max health. Because this is assuming 100, which not so much. So from the health component, let's get max health. Okay, and let's see if we divide by this instead. Okay. Now, actually, we can make the same change on the enemy health bar, which is here. So this is the bummer about having two separate health bars, is when we make changes like this, we have to do it in two places. I was looking for a way to do this inherited, but I just ran out of time. Max health. This does mean that we're gonna have to make a decision on our shield as well. Maybe not. Let's not worry about the shield right now. Let's just get this one. Okay, I believe we need to plug this in. Wait. Oh, I'm looking at the shield value. Wrong answer. Set this back to 100. 100. Here's the health. Here we go, 100. Great. Okay, so now let's play and test that. Alright, dude's health is full. There we go. Now it's working properly. Okay, he's dead. Dude's dead. Alright, now let's, when they spawn again, let's just double check our health bar. There goes our shield. And then our health. Our health is actually going down. As expected. Perfect. Okay, so look at this. Unlike so many of our other streams, this time we actually had made some progress early on in the stream, which is fantastic. Okay, so now let's see about getting rid of that health number. This one may take a little more digging. So first, let's save these dudes. For some reason, saving is not working. Let's do save all. Okay, let's see about the best way to track this down. Health number? Health number? Nope. Okay. Health changed. Event graph. Find event to health change, normalized health. Set reset animated state, set scalar parameter values, set the current value, interpolate the value, find event. None of these are show the health number. So what we want to do is find references to this. Shooter mannequin. Here we go. Get the pawn, get the controller, report damage. Interesting. This doesn't even do anything. That's also interesting. Alright, we're reporting the event. Damage. Is there a damage number? Is there a damage widget? No. Wow. Where are those numbers coming from? So let's go to the enemy health bar. Health bar, game menu, touch screen, art. This is in the HUD. Credits, foundation, front end, indicators, maybe? Nameplates, nope. Settings, nope. Not front end. Foundation, buttons, dialogues, fonts. Text. Textile, text scroll, but huge, regular, disabled, small. There is somewhere that this is happening, because if you do extra damage, the numbers even change. So let's take a look at something here. GA. pistol. GA weapon fire pistol. This inherits from GA weapon fire. GA weapon fire does a target data ready, damage instigator. Oh, there's a gameplay cue. What does the gameplay do? If it hits, applies a gameplay effect. Create a physics field. Nope. Interesting. So far, we have not found where this happens. Reporting the damage. There's gotta be a way to see this. Okay, how about this? Let's look for all widget. Is this an option for us? UI, media materials, gameplay. Nope. User interface. Widgets. Okay. This is a little slower than I would like to do this, but that's okay. That's an ability progress, ability failure. Score. Interact. Lyra. Respawning. Weapon ammo. Player name. Reticle ammo. Quick bar. Press any K. Man, I do not see this. Lyra setting. There's gotta be a button somewhere here. Health bar, grenade cooldown, get ready. Fire button, credits, crouch. Score. That's all the scoreboards. Okay. Huh. Every time you think something's easy with Lyra, it's not. Okay, so whether or not... Okay, here's a question. Let's do this. We can do a test. Alright, and the test is simple. We can do some breakpoints, which will tell us when that text thing is being displayed. So we'll put a breakpoint on health change. Okay, so what's gonna happen is this will help us debug. We gotta get through it, so we're playing. All right, we're playing. Now the question is, do we see the numbers first, or do we hit the breakpoint first? And to test this, I think we're gonna need to break this off into a separate window. Okay, so it hits our breakpoint first, for sure. Because the text, either that or we haven't gotten the redraw. Another way to check this is if we... Oh, that's actually the shield change. Enemy health bar shield change. Shield change. on health change. So there's the health change. I don't think that helps us. I don't think that helps us at all. CS damage taken. Ooh, this looks promising. Oh, that's camera shake. That's not what we were looking for. Oh, it's a Niagara system? Damage numbers, it's a Niagara system. Oh my goodness. Okay, that is unexpected, but helpful. So if we go ahead and we do a reference viewer on this, okay, that is used by basic damage Niagara. It's fine. We recenter on this. This is used by Niagara numbers pop-up component, which is used by shooter standard components. So this must be added as part of our gameplay features. That's what my guess is. All right, so let's just take a look at this. Lyra pop-up component Niagara text. The heck is this? It's code? Oh my goodness. Alright, so why is this in code? Okay. So we're gonna add the number pop-up damage number array. Add number pop-up. Go to definition. Cancel. Find in. We're gonna do a quick find in. The Lyra starter game. I want to see what the actual function is. I don't have IntelliSense set up, so it's gonna take a second. At least I don't think I do. Okay, Lyra pop-up. Here we that's generated. These are all generated. I don't want the generated. I want the original. This creates a new Niagara. Sets the world location, damage hit, damage list, and adds. Good. Yes, great. Okay, so go back to our B hero shooter mannequin. See if we can find. Nope. That is not what I want to look for. I want to look for add number pop-up. It's not going to find anything. Here we go. Where are we right now? We're in gameplay, game queue notify, burst latent. So it's a game queue notify latent, damage taken. Here's where we add our damage pop. Now here's the trick. This is the requested number to display. I only want to do this if it's paused. That was painful to find considering what it was. But anyways, we found it. So if we do this, and this is greater than 0, we'll leave this up here for right now, okay? If that, ooh, undo. If that's true, then we're going to feed into here. And if it's false, we'll skip that. All right, so now what should happen is we should not see, we don't need any of our breakpoints. 0 when we're hitting shields. There we go. Great. Looks like that worked. So when this dude shoots me, no numbers, but I can see my shields going down. Awesome. Okay, we're making progress. All right, now, based on, well, we should clean this up a little bit. Okay, that's cleaner. That will work. Okay, cool. That all looks good. And save that. All right, so now what we need to do is think. I think we can reconnect our enemy's AI again, because I think we want to move on to something else. And this is going to be interesting. So let's take a look at we were in the plugins, and we are in the Wars characters, AI, ability, behavior trees. Here's our enemy. And temporarily we disconnected that and just ran it into shoot and wait. But we're going to reconnect here, and then our enemy should be back into full swing. Pretty good. Enemy's pretty good. Alright, so right now this dude should be patrolling. I guess he saw me. I was thinking about the behavior tree a lot, and there's some things that, yeah, right now the dude's in patrol. I had some ideas on as far as what he should do. Now I should be able to see him again and start shooting. Okay, great. So we're kind of back to where we were with the behavior trees and stuff. Oh, it looks like we have our line traces still on. I also don't see a cooldown on my grenade. Dude just got aced. Alright. So this is what I'm thinking. And I'm sure it's possible, you know, you're wondering like what are we even doing right now? Like why are we doing all these little tasks and odds and things like that? So a huge part of this right now has to do with the way I learn. We're not actually making the game yet. What we're doing is we're learning how the Lyra project's set up. We're learning how to create abilities. We need to be, what I want to do is I want to have a proper understanding of how this stuff works, so that when I sit down to make a new ability, I can just make a new ability. When I sit down to create a new item, I can just create a new item. And then the speed at which I can iterate and make the game goes on, because right now it's just me. So I need to have a better understanding of this. I learn better by working on like a specific problem. If I just sat down and said I just need to know how Lyra works, I think I would be lost. I would flounder. So it's far better for me to say, you know, how do I create a health bar? How do I add create an ice grenade? How do I add an item? Whatever it is. And then I sit down, and as I stumble through that, along the way, I'm learning all of the key things that I need to know. So that's why we're doing this like little piecemeal. We're actually going to get into the actual game and building levels and all that crazy stuff once I feel like I can build out the abilities and characters and everything that I want. We're getting closer. We're learning a lot. But because of that, I think we've done pretty well in understanding, how the health system's working, just general stuff, cosmetics, all that kind of thing. I think the next good chunk of stuff, like behavior trees, we know we can do. We can plug in what we want. We can make them complicated. I think there's going to be some cool opportunities for what we do with behavior trees. I think the next kind of system within Lyra that's worth kind of taking a look at this point is going to be items and abilities. And I know we've already been working with abilities, but what I specifically mean is if I have this crazy idea for a new ability, for a new character we've created, I want to know how to implement that. And I want to know how Lyra has done that. So let's start with something simple and let's create either a new gun or an ice grenade. And I'm thinking ice grenade, even though a new gun would be easier. So let's try an ice grenade or a fire grenade, one of the two, either one. So let's hop back into Unreal and figure out how to make a grenade. So there's going to be a few things about this. First, we need to figure out, we're gonna have to figure out how to grant the ability. We may want to figure out how to add that as a pickup for our characters. So this is gonna, just like, yeah, Yuri, go ahead. Yuri just hopped in and said, can I ask questions here? Of course, that's what we're here for. I may not know the answer, but maybe we can try to stumble through it together. That's kind of the whole point. While you type up your question, I am gonna kind of keep looking for the grenade stuff. Okay, so the way I'm gonna do this while Yuri works up the question is I'm gonna look for the grenade and I'm going to start backtracking from how they created their grenade, so I can better understand how I might want to create a grenade. So this is a behavior tree service called throw grenade. So let's take a look at this. All right, and what this is doing is in here, when it receives the tick, target, oh, we made this one. I'm pretty sure we did. As long as the control pawn is valid as a Lyra character, casting it to an actor, if we're at least 350 units away, and that's true, we're gonna try to activate the abilities with the tag, which is ability type action grenade. Okay, so there's gonna be a couple things we need to do. We're gonna need a new ability type action called ice grenade, as an example. And we're going to need, oh, interesting. Okay, so here's the trick. Okay, what just happened? What was the realization that I just had? Here's the problem. If I have a behavior tree service for just grenade, I'm gonna need a behavior tree service for grenade, ice grenade, etc. Every single thing that you could possibly do. But I don't know if I want that. I think what I want is I want a behavior tree. You know what, Yuri? You actually came up with this question last time. I think we went over it. I wasn't sure, how legit it was. We kind of went over the specifics of this. So you can just go back to that last chat. And at this point, I'm pretty confident in the troll factor here. But it's cool. And it does crack me up a little bit. Okay, so the problem is I don't want to have to create one for each of the grenades. I think I just need a secondary ability trigger, right? That would trigger whatever happens to be in that item slot. But let's play the game. Let's see Let's see where this is. I do think your name is creative though. Alright, reference viewer. This should be in our... It's not there. We must have taken it out. So this is shoot. If we go into fight, check ammo, shoot, set focus, melee. Okay, because what we have is we have melee happening. And this is a selector. If we have a target and we have ammo, check ammo. I think what we need to do is we need to figure out how the grenade is granted. And I'm pretty sure it's part of the initial set. And we're gonna have to do a whole lot of extending. Gameplay ability, grenade. Okay, so this is our grenade. And our grenade has a couple things. Only allow one widget per ability instance. Extra equipment. HUD slot, extra equipment. Grenade cooldown. Interesting. This is the activate the ability. Okay. Commit. Spawn. Get spawn. Has authority. Spawns the B grenade. And then we're gonna throw the grenade. Broadcast it in the ability. Okay. So what I'm looking for here now is this is our B grenade. This is what gets spawned. This is our blueprint for the grenade. We're just chasing down we're just pulling the threads. Begin play, pre-stream grenade explosion. Oh, interesting. Instigator. Ignore the actor. Set up the VFX trail, okay. Set some timers. Post-launch cleanup. Okay. Detonate the grenade. Detonate. I wonder who calls detonate. Find references. Detonate. Alright, we detonate the grenade if it hits. And it only gets detonated if it hits a enemy team. Which, I'm not totally sold on that one. Because why should it only detonate if it hits enemies? Anyways, we detonate. It's interesting that we have a teleport in here too. Detonate is only done once, and it fires a gameplay cue. Checks the sphere overlap actors. Gets and makes a gameplay effect container struct. Looks for valid hits. And it applies the gameplay. Oh, interesting. Grenade is applying the gameplay effect. Oh. Okay. Here's the other thing I want to see. In my UI, Yeah, okay, we need to actually make our enemies dumb again because we need to be able to test. So let's go like back to this. Okay. That way I can actually test without doing this. Now, okay, I do have a grenade item over here in this bottom right corner. So when I launch the grenade, okay, there's the cooldown for it. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Options. I want to see if there's a way to see what's in my backpack. Mouse and keyboard. Move forward, move right. Fire the weapon. Reload the weapon dash. I want to fire. Throw score. Aim down sight. Throw grenade. Quick slot 1, 2, and 3. Melee. Quick slot cycle backward. Oh, that's for the guns. Okay. Let's see if I'm right. If that's for the guns. This is a weapon spawner. So if we alt drag this, and we put this in the corner, and we'll change this to a rifle. Okay, so the weapon spawner, there must be something in here that says what weapon spawns in the class. Weapon pickup data pistol. Here we go. So over here, let's change this to weapon pickup data rifle to shotgun. Okay, so now when we play, theoretically, there's a shotgun back here. There is. Okay, so here's the thing. Now I have a shotgun. Okay, so I can switch between the shotgun and the pistol using 1 and 2. So those are my slots. Oh man, this is all just learning stuff right now. We're trying to figure out. Interesting. So what we need is we need the ability to spawn a grenade, or we need to have a pickup data for our grenade. But what does this thing do? What is in Lyra pickup? Pickup sound, response, pickup back, equipment. Okay, so this is, all right, so here's the interesting thing. So all of the first part of this is all about the visuals and the audios for how the pickup works, right? The last part of this is the inventory definition for the shotgun. And if you look at the inventory definition for the shotgun, it's under the weapons for shooter core. There's the name. Well, this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to figure out how this would work. Okay, so maybe we should start with a gun. Maybe like a taser. Oh goodness, Steve. So Steve is asking, and you can call me Kevin, or a lot of people could just call me Freestyle or Freeman. So Steve is asking, I'm 18 years old, what should I learn first? It all seems overwhelming to me. So I think that is a really good question. It's one that I get a lot, and a huge part of it depends on what you want to do. So one of the advantages that people have now that go into game dev is it used to be, it's like, hey, I want to work in movies or I want to work in games, and there were so many people. There weren't that many people who were doing it yet. So you could just blanket say that, get into the business, and then find your way once you got in. But now, people are much more hyper focused. They're much more aware of what they want to do, and so a lot of times, you know, they know from day one, I want to be an animator, or I want to be a game designer, or whatever it is. So one of the first things that you might want to figure out is what excites you about game dev, right? Is it animation? Is it game design? Is it level design? Is it the software engineering part of it? And that would greatly change my answer depending on which one of those things that you want to do. Actually, yeah, very much so, because, for example, if you wanted to be an animator, I might say you might not have to go to college. There's a couple things that you can try other than college to see if animation's for you. If you wanted to be an engineer, getting a degree in computer science, not necessarily a bad thing, right? You will learn a lot of very practical stuff doing that. So that's hopefully something. So here we go. Animation and level design, super completely different things. And you know, much different skill tracks. So if it was animation, my general recommendation, and this is tough. I'm not saying you don't have to go to college for this, but I will say this: when I broke in, there weren't a lot of schools out there for animation. They were specific for animation. And if you want to figure out if animation's right for you, rather than spending 4 years in college to figure out if animation is your thing, then realizing in the end it's not, maybe it's worth trying out a couple of the online programs first, right? So try Animation Mentor, Anim School, iAnimate.net, one of these schools. They're all pretty crazy good programs. You will learn more about animation in that 18 months. It's hyper focused on just animation, and you'll literally finish with a good understanding, or even know very early on that maybe animation's not your thing. Depending on, you know, how hardcore your family is about you going to college, you know, it's a conversation I've had with parents and daughters and sons, and, you know, just standing right there, and the first thing I say to the parents is, okay, don't freak out when I say this, right? Yeah, it's animationmentor.com. These are three of the big ones off the top of my head. I'll just type them out. Animationmentor.com, iAnimate.net, and Anim School. Those are three big ones. So I promise you, if you went to any of those three, you will know more about animation and how to animate and what your skill level is and things like that than I did when I broke it. And you will be in a far better position than I was. The other trick about it is, it's kind of what you have to do to compete, because there are so many people out there who want to animate that, you know, knowing that that's going to be your focus and figuring out if that's the right thing for you is a good thing to do. Now, trying to think of other options. Yeah, I think I would start there if it were me. Absolutely start there. See if I had what it takes to be an animator, or if that was actually my thing at the end of the day. So, cool. Level design, on the other hand, that is a whole other can of ball of wax, I guess is a better word for it, because it's not really a can of worms. I would actually have to ask some of my level design friends what they would recommend nowadays. which, you know, I'm happy to do depending on which one you're more focused on. Okay, so back to what we were stumbling through. Okay, so this is our weapon item definition. And most of this stuff, you know, this is why we name things the way they should be named. It should be pretty straightforward and apparent just based on what it is. So we have our display name. There's this whole section about inventory fragments equipable. We have our weapon item description, which is the shotgun, or weapon item definition. We have another one. Jeez Louise, what is it? Ah, okay. So now we know what this is. All right, what do we got here? I know a bunch of Joes. So Steve is saying we actually have a mutual friend in common. Do I know a Joe? He said he knows you for a few years. He actually told me about your stream. I'm not sure. I do know a couple Joes. So depending on who it is. Okay, so Serial Killer 17 is asking a question. What are your thoughts on using data assets for storing functionalities? Like Lyra, action RPG versus bunching all logic variables into a single actor. Thanks, Steve. Versus bunching all logic variables into a single actor, like a shooter game. So, data sets. I'm still on the fence about data sets right now, or data assets in general. There's, and it's interesting because even the engineering teams at work are still. I get mixed answers on this depending on who I talk to. So on one hand, I will have. And I'm trying to remember the specifics about this, but I was implementing some system, I can't remember what it was, and I talked to one engineer, and the answer was that they wanted me to do it with data tables and data assets. And what ended up happening was I went through and I implemented the whole thing with data tables and data assets, and then when it came time to do it at game time, it turned out that I can't remember what it was because of replication or whatever it was. I had another conversation with a different engineer and they're like, absolutely not. You need to put this on the specific thing because of whatever it was, whether it be replication or whatever it was. And so I had to undo all of my data table work and everything like that to go back to implementing it direct. Now, the advantage or the plus of doing the data asset thing and data table type stuff is it's very quick. It's very quick to edit and update. You know, I don't have to create a whole, you know, new blueprint. I don't have to duplicate a blueprint. I don't have to edit it, all its attributes and stuff. There's just a data table I can go in and change it very quickly. So what I'm noticing in the Lyra project so far is there's heavy use of data assets. And so I am expecting that if we're actually going to use the Lyra as a baseline for at least my project, that we're going to be heavily into data assets. And so, you know, I think I'm going to start forming a much stronger opinion about which way. It wasn't that hard to implement stuff using the data assets. And it wasn't that hard to switch it back. So I'm kind of like, I'll give it a shot. That seems to be what Lyra's doing. And it's you know, we'll see how it goes. And you can even see, even if it's not necessarily a specific data table, like even just all this stuff like that they're using these weapon item definitions that we're working on right now. If I transition back, right, because right now we're in the state where we're trying to figure out how to implement our own abilities and weapons and items inside of the Lyra project. And so we're pulling the thread of how the weapons are implemented right now. And so there's this whole weapon pickup data shotgun thing, right? And so basically, then that has an item definition, and then the shotgun has a weapon item definition. And so we're kind of pulling this thread. And the one thing I will say is, it does seem like, because the shotgun has a weapon pickup, or the weapon pickup data has a shotgun, and the shotgun has a weapon item definition, and then now when we're looking at the weapon item definition, it has an ability set for shooter shotgun. And if we go to the ability set for the shooter shotgun, this is everything that is granted by the abilities for the shotgun. So the point of this that I was getting to is, wow, it seems like a lot of bloat, right? It seems like just for a shotgun, I've got 3 different before I even get to the actual granted abilities, I have to get from the shotgun ID, the weapon pickup, to the ID of the shotgun, to the weapon item definition, to the ability set for the shotgun, before I even find out what abilities are being granted. Here's the other thing that is frustrating about data sets so far, in my experience. Reference viewing, okay? And this applies to data assets, and it also applies to, and especially data table entries, and it also applies to tags. Okay, it's very difficult to do reference views to find out, like for example, if I wanted to find every single thing in the game that applied an ability input type of grenade, right now, as far as I know, I have no way of finding where those are. So yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag for me right now. Those are my quick thoughts as it stands right now. I would not say I'm an expert on data assets yet, or will probably never be, but just some quick thoughts as I'm working through this. And so back to where we were, we had our weapon item, this is our weapon, golly, what is this? Weapon item definition. And it grants an ability set, and it has an actor to spawn. And I mean, so look at this, dude. Our weapon pickup has the sounds. This makes sense. It has a static mesh, and then it has our equipment, right? Then this thing has our ID shotgun. Here, let's put this to the right of this, just so it's going right to left. So then we have our shotgun, which has all of our fragments, and then those fragments has some equipment with it: magazine size, magazine ammo, spare ammo, and then it has a skeletal mesh. Then our weapon item definition also has an actor to spawn. And the actor to spawn inherits from a blueprint from a weapon, and this thing has, I mean, geez Louise, look at this. So now to find out like where our weapon fire and our shell ejection and everything like this is actually on the blueprint for the shotgun, but not the skeletal mesh that gets spawned. So my guess is, what's up SDC Gaming? Welcome to the stream. My guess is somewhere in here, in this B weapon blueprint that we inherit from, it is getting a weapon to spawn in maybe construction. Nope. Event graph, begin play, gets the owner, gets the team colors. What? Fire. Spawn and activate weapon fire effects. Spawn and activate weapon impact system. So this is a great example of what I'm talking about. We've gone all the way through this, we get to the blueprint for the shotgun and trying to tell you what actually spawns the skeletal mesh which is specified not in the ability set, not in the but in the not in the weapon ID. Oh my goodness, but in the ID item definition for the shotgun. This is where the skeletal mesh is. I don't play Gary's mod, SDC Gaming. I will say overall, from a playing standpoint, it is actually something I need to do more of. You know, played tons of Halos, tons of Gears of War and stuff like that. Switched over to League, played a bunch of League of Legends. Most nights now I play ARAM, and then there's an interesting thing. If I spend all my time playing games, then I'm never gonna get a chance to make the game. So I don't get as much time to play as I would like, or not even like. It's more like should. I should play more games so I better understand what's exciting about the different genres, about what players are excited about in general and things like that. So hopefully I'm going to get to a point with this where I have the foundation built, and then I'll be able to take a timeout, sit down and figure out what's going to be fun about what I'm building. I know what I'm building. I just got to make sure we make it fun for players. Oh, you know what? Okay, so this is a skeletal mesh that comes from this item definition for the shotgun. All right, now when we look at where this is being used, that's the weapon pickup data. Okay, there's gotta be somewhere where when we equip the shotgun, it finds this skeletal mesh in the equipment. That's where this has to be. So this is a great example of what I'm talking about. We've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 different blueprints now to get down to the point where, and I still can't tell you where this skeletal mesh is being spawned. It's a lot. And also another good tip is, if I want to create a new gun, I can just look at this folder for the shotgun and say, okay, well, I need an ability set. I need a blueprint for the shotgun. I guess I need a blueprint for the weapon instance of the shotgun. I'm gonna need a gameplay ability to fire the shotgun. It looks like maybe a reload shooter or a reload shotgun. I don't know why I need both of these. Gameplay, game queue notify weapon shotgun fire. Those are probably all our effects. I definitely need the gameplay effect for damage. ID shotgun. So these 3 all make sense, right? I don't want to move them. Everything else, actually, I'm gonna say these 4 all kind of make sense. You're gonna need gameplay abilities for all these things, but everything else that's all just to do the visuals. It's a lot. Okay, so let's see if we can figure out where the equip is happening. Spawn and activate the weapon decal system. Fire and begin. Cast. Observe team color. Okay, there may be another way to do this. So here's what I'm thinking. This is our hero. Quick slot routing. Change quick bar slot. These are the indices. Okay, so it gets the controller, gets the slots, sends a gameplay event to the avatar. And the event is what? New slot index. There is no tag. Okay. Wow. Okay. There's gotta be some place where we're... Hold on, let's try this. Spawn. Skeletal Mesh. Let's see, that's not gonna show up anything here. Dash. Nope. Maybe we can do a spawn actor. Weapon fire. Experience list. Hide equipped weapons. Here we go. Play weapon montage. Get spawned actors. This is inside our hero. And this is inside our hide equipped weapons. Interesting. So we're going to... So these are all spawned actors. What I want to know is the spawned actors comes from Lyra weapon instant, which are in the Lyra equipment manager component. Interesting. Okay, okay. So then from our Lyra equipment manager component, let's see what that does. Lyra equipment. Does nothing. Oh, it's a C++ class? Is this what you're telling me? Show C++ classes. Lyra equip. Lyra equipment manager component is a C++ class. Okay, so if we look at this, what is happening here? Okay. Get the lifetime replicated props. Equip the item. Equipment list, add entry. Result on equipped. Ooh. Maybe we can search for that. Let's try that. On equipped. E-weapon instance base. Okay. So determine cosmetic tag. This is gonna get the weapon instance base. And that's the montage. Okay. And the tags is Lyra component, cosmetic component, get. That's the cosmetic anim style tag. Set the cosmetic component. I don't see how that has anything to do with the skeletal mesh. Initialize the component, uninitialize the component. Get the first instance. Let's just see. We can stop there. Alright, so we do not have a shotgun right now. Whoa. Alright, we walk over it. And we are triggering this. Now let's take a look at our debug. Blueprint debugger. The call stack. So this is happening. So there's a pickup weapon, and then there's a give weapon. Oh, interesting. So it does a give weapon, and this is our equip. This is, and then this determines the cosmetics. So if we roll through here, the cosmetic component, there's no tags for this. Get the combined tags. Oh wait, now maybe we have tags. Uh-oh. That's the montage. Interesting. Well, y'all, we are not any closer to... I mean, we are closer, but we have not successfully figured out what is spawning these skeletal meshes. There's something in these cosmetics that's doing it. We just gotta figure out what it is. And it's gotta come off of this. Let's see here. This item definition. Lyra inventory item definition, because that's the only place. Actually, let's just test that. If we do a search for the skeletal mesh or the shotgun, and we do a reference viewer on this. Okay. Oh, I was wrong. It's actually in the blueprint for the shotgun. I didn't see it there. I don't see it listed here. Oh no. I have an idea. Sometimes they do this. So if we do an open full blueprint editor, look at this, skeletal mesh viewport, it's set here. Okay. So we didn't see it because it was being set in there, and we didn't see it because we had to click open full blueprint editor. So when this blueprint shotgun gets spawned, that's where the visual's coming from. So get the next free slot, execute receiving pawn, add the item to slot, reload, set the active index. Reference viewer. Weapon ID shotgun. So the weapon ID shotgun is the one what is in this, man? Oh my gosh, so many things. Generic unequipped shotgun melee. This is where all the anim sets are defined. That's what this is. Oh my goodness. I'm so used to all this stuff being in one place. Okay, so if we go back, so this is the actor 2 spawn. And this is the attached socket. All right, let's do one more search here. And then we're going to put actors to spawn. Let's search everywhere for this. Nothing. Let's check our code. Here we go. Spawn equipment actors. This is where it's happening in code. What is this in? This is in add the entry. Okay. So this has got to be somewhere in our code set. Lyra equipment instance. Spawn equipment actors. It's basically going to go through this actors to spawn. It's going to get the pawn. It's going to get the root component. And then the attached target is going to be the mesh of that. And the actor to spawn, we're going to create a spawn actor deferred. Owning pawn, spawn info, actor to spawn. Gonna set the identity, attach, keep relative, and add. Okay, so we found it. We actually found where this stuff is getting spawned. Now the interesting thing is, this is different than the way grenades work. I'm pretty sure. Let's just double check. Let's go back to the blueprint. We're gonna double check this, and then we're gonna wrap this because I have to get up crazy early tomorrow morning. So let's take a look at weapons and the grenade. See how few blueprints and actor definitions and everything else there are in grenade versus the shotgun and the pistol and the rifle. If we look at shotgun, pistols, and rifles, so our rifle, our shotgun, and our pistol all have relatively the same things. They all have an ability set. They all have the blueprint for the actual weapon, and then they all have the ID and the this is the weapon item definition. So these all have a weapon item definition, whereas our grenade doesn't have any of those things. So we're gonna have to do some thinking. So my hunch was right. That looks like kind of the way it's set up, and we're gonna have to do some thinking on how we're gonna implement this. So overall, we made a bunch of progress tonight. We had a bunch of learnings. We were able to get our enemy health bars working properly, our health bars working properly, fix a couple of the bugs with those things, and we've started digging into the inventory and the ability system, which is going to help us better understand how to implement our own stuff. I actually think creating a new weapon will be quite easy. And in fact, we could probably test out that theory. Let's test out that theory next time, maybe. All right, and so the reason I think that's going to be easy is because, you know, it's just a matter of copying all of these weapon item definitions, everything, and rebuilding a bunch of these things, duplicating all of that stuff. And setting the values and the variables and things like that, and then all of a sudden we will have a new weapon, because it looks like the weapons use the equipment slot systems. The grenade's a little bit different. Right now I don't see a way for us to pick up an item other than the grenade, or how we would swap those out yet, and we're gonna have to dig into that a little bit. So maybe next time we'll do a quick create a new weapon just to confirm I'm not losing my mind, and then we'll dig back into the grenades. But overall, we've kind of moved on into the Lyra ability system. You know, everybody who hopped in tonight, and you know, some of the questions and stuff like that, thanks for coming, thanks for asking questions. That's what this is about, us kind of figuring stuff out together, learning together, and stumbling forward together. So I hope everybody has a great night, and we will see you all again Wednesday morning. Theoretically, no, not theoretically, we'll see you on Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock. Alrighty, y'all. Have a good week. Have a good first half of your week. Later.